Yes, yes, people. We are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for another edition of the ManDem United podcast, the podcast dedicated to all things Manchester United. So please keep all your comments and questions Manchester United related, please. Please make sure you do so. All your comments and questions Manchester United related. I can see you lot in the comments already, so big up to everybody who is currently locked in. Large up to everyone who's supporting. Please make sure you hit the like button. We're just one short of double figure likes, so hit the like button. Make sure you share this across all of the socials as well, and subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV. And when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell as well. Vitally important you do that. I do have a special guest joining me, not making his debut. He's making his debut on the show, but he's not making his debut on the channel. So for those that remember, before Sarcasm City TV was sporting content, the Talk About It network specials, we was on the same network as well. He's 1/3 of the Red Lion Picture gang. If you don't know about Red Lion Picture, make sure you go and subscribe. I'm gonna add it to the title when it comes to all nerd films, anything Marvel, anything film related, anything series related. They are the guys for that. Trust me. They are the guys for that. They're my go-to. When I have questions about Marvel and stuff, because I don't know, they're my go-to guys. And like I said, this guy here, hilarious Donny as well. You know what I'm saying? Hilarious Donny, knows his football, fantastic content creator as well. Glad to finally have him on this show in particular. Man like Mike, aka Michael B. Good, in the building. Yes, Mike.
Yes. How we doing, bro? I can't believe I'm actually here getting to do this. And sober. I think it's the first time I've ever been on the channel sober. I am actually drinking, but I'm sober at the moment, so you might actually get some normal lucid thoughts out of me, which is a bit wild.
That's all good, man. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? For those that don't know, Mike likes a drink, but whether he's drinking or not, very coherent. If, like I said, if you've seen the Talk About It network specials, you're good. Welcome, though. It's good to finally have you on this show in particular, even though, you know, I've had you on the channel many times before. Many times. You already know. But yeah, I'm glad to everything all good, though, first and foremost, before we even get started.
Getting there, man. Like, wife had to have an operation, so she's been, like, recovering from that. But we're nearly there now. So, yeah, you know, back out doing lives again for Redline, which is always a lot of fun when I get to hang out and drink with them absolute fools.
Yes, absolutely great that the Red Lion gang is back together. I'm great to see you lot doing live shows and things of that nature. So yeah, man, that's big, and speedy recovery to your wife as well. Big up everyone that's tapped in. There's over 20 of you lot locked in. Let's get this up to 20 likes, people. Let's go. Like check 1 2 1 2. Let's smash this up to 20 likes, and we're only looking for 5 new subscribers in this show. 5 new subscribers we're looking at. Let's get to 5,235. My apologies on the lateness, people. That was on me, but it's because the KD news to the Suns broke late last night, so I was up talking about that. But here we are. Big up to Daredevils, big up Flawless and everyone else. Love from the USA. Overall, a disappointing result, but very satisfied and proud with our comeback from 2 goals down. Come on, you Red Devils. Says so happy to see Jadon Sancho from his return, as he had a good game as well. He goes on to say Ellen Road on Sunday will be tough and hostile, but I'm confident, not overconfident. Big up to Dan Levitt, who says big up, still buzzing from last week after Scousers. Dennis says big up Flawless, you guys must beat Leeds at Ellen Road to stay in the top 4 race, because if Newcastle and Spurs win in the weekend, you guys are 5th. Oh, is that the case? I didn't know that. Beating Leeds at Ellen Road ain't easy. That is a fact. Dennis, I will answer any questions you have. Same with Dan asking about Garnacho. I can see questions about Leeds on Sunday. Sancho, Garnacho, is the sky falling, etc. So we'll start there, because as you can see from the title, people, 2 points dropped or 1 point gained after draw versus Leeds. Your thoughts on the game, Mike?
Well, I only
entirety, but yeah,
I didn't watch the entire. I caught live like the last 10 minutes, and I couldn't join your chat for a little bit. I've caught most of the very long highlight reel of it. Start was shit. I can't remember the last time we started that bad.
True.
Like I literally can't remember the last time we started that bad. But like you said last night, and I feel like a lot of the fans would be saying, to come back from 2-0 down wouldn't have happened a year ago.
Definitely not.
A year ago, we would have lost like 4-0. Like, but it showed real balls of the players put the nose down and started working, which was nice to see. But it's disappointing because, you know, Leeds. Like, I'm never going to be happy about dropping points to him at all. But
facts.
It had some positives. They weren't all negative, which wouldn't have been the case last year. Like last year, like I said, it would have been an absolute drubbing, and I would have been absolutely leathered by halftime. I would have stopped watching. I would have just started hanging about in the kitchen, like just tell me if someone scores. But yeah.
Many a time that happened. I think last year where like you would join a watch along or join a show where I'm talking about, and you like, yo, forget about these, man, just go have a drink. Like that happened on countless occasions where you're watching like about a pop-up, like, yeah, big up, yo, forget these, man. And that's how I felt in terms of even when we were doing watch alongs last year, there was no hope. There was no expectancy. We went 1-2-0 down, and it's like, all right, we talking about everything but the game. We doing watch alongs and doing everything but watching along. And that's what I was proud of as well in terms of, yes, you don't want to drop points to Leeds because it's a rival, number one. Two, the position they're in regards to the league table, I believe they're in 17th. But to come back from 2-0 down when we looked dead and buried, it's not like it was against the run of play. Like, yeah, Leeds only had 2 shots, but we did not look like scoring until Rashford scored that header. We weren't peppering the goal. We weren't even getting into positions. And I was thinking as soon as the Varane goal OG went in, and that was just pure unlucky. Like that can deflect and go anywhere. You're like, this is going to be one of these games. So to go keep the good home record going undefeated, if we're undefeated in 14 now at Old Trafford, 13 wins and that 1 draw, which is good. I look at it and go, yeah, there is the fighting spirit. Of course, 2 points dropped is not good. But when you look at the team, you see as to why. You know what I'm saying? Dalot's just coming back from injury. You've got Sabitzer making his full debut. We all know about Fred's deficiencies. Rashford's then moved over to the right, which I think Ten Hag's got wrong. He should have played from the left. Garnacho's 18. Bruno has his deficiencies. We know Weghorst's shortcomings. Why is it such a big shot? I've been saying this for the longest, and I'm going to get your thoughts on this as well in regards to this team isn't as good as people think it is. It's Ten Hag, to me, working miracles and the system and getting the most out of players. But yeah, go on, Mike.
Yeah, completely. Ten Hag is working miracles, but he also made a fair few mistakes yesterday. Like, and I think he's admitted about it. He said like he shouldn't have been starting Rashford out there. Like it was, but when your team's that thin, and you've got 5 injuries we've got at the moment, and your squad all of a sudden goes that thin, it's a worry. Like all it takes is a couple of other serious ones, and we could possibly not even get 5th. Like, that's how close that top of that league is at the moment. But Ten Hag has worked miracles with that squad.
Yes.
If you look at the amount of players what have shown genuine improvement from last season, the talent that he's managed to bring in, fair enough, we probably paid 50 million too much over the top over all of them. But he got them in, and he got them playing well quickly.
Yes.
Which just doesn't seem to happen for United. Like, I can't remember. Bruno started well, but then he had a big dip. But I feel like he's an important player to that team because he's the only one what seems to be using his mouth correctly. Like he acts like the captain on that pitch. Like if Harry's on that pitch,
what you're saying.
Yeah. When Harry's on that pitch, he doesn't feel like a leader. Whereas I think Bruno does show that leadership quality.
Okay. First. Yeah, Harry Maguire is definitely not a leader. That is a fact. That is the fact of the matter. We'll go to it. You know what? We'll start Jadon Sancho. We'll go there because obviously I've not heard your thoughts on this. Neither has anybody watching. How do you look at Jadon Sancho in regards to how did you feel about him before this, and obviously his form and Ten Hag taking him out of the firing line? He went to Holland. Now he's back. He's had 2 good cameos. Obviously, he scored yesterday. He had the good cameo against Forest. How are you looking at Jadon Sancho?
Jadon Sancho needed that break. Ten Hag was a genius to send him away. I feel like he needed that, and it was mainly, I feel like, because he wasn't getting in that World Cup squad. And after the World Cup, he was still not right. He weren't sharp. Go away, work on yourself, get your confidence back. And he's come in, and he's going to feed him into that team like you should be doing someone coming from the under-21s.
Okay.
Just short bursts. Let's get you as confident as possible, and then he'll be back. I think he's going to end up playing as a number 10 at some point, but because we are weak on the wings, he will be starting on the wings fairly soon, if not against Leeds this weekend.
I hear that. You lot continue to get your questions in as well. Dan says, do you think Garnacho is getting too much negative from the fans when he's only 18? Yes.
1,000,000%.
Yes. All right, you answer first and then I'm going to answer this question. Yeah, your thoughts on this Garnacho. Good question.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. If you feel like the last person you can compare him to is when we brought Ronaldo in from abroad, and he was 16, 17, and in that first season he got pelters because he was doing too much. But everyone knew there was a bit of talent there.
Yeah, that's true.
And it took getting used to the league in the big at this level. It's going to take a lot, and he's not a big lad either. He's probably going to do that thing where over one summer he's going to come back and he's absolutely fucking yoked. Yeah. He's going to come back and he's going to be a tank, and then he'll be a bigger threat. But if you want to talk about the kids coming through the youth, the obvious one's Giggsy.
Okay.
Giggsy was not like the perfect player at 16 when he was breaking into the team. It took him a good 3-4 seasons before he was like, right, he's our out and out number one, and he was there for a long time after that. But even towards the end, he was still getting pelters from the fans. Like, people who were watching him would get frustrated with him, but no one would deny that he was a great player.
Okay.
Because he had lightning in his boots. All he took is a couple of seconds, and then he'd done something. You're like, how the hell has he done that? And I feel like that is very similar to Garnacho. Like, he might overrun a ball every now and again. He might misplace a pass, but once every now and again, he'll do something. You'll be like, yeah, he's got something there. You can't deny that about him as a player. He's just young and inexperienced.
Yeah, he's 18 now.
Yeah.
The fact that he's our backup's a big problem. There's no way that the 18 after Rashford, if Rashford's injured or Rashford moves out wide right or Rashford moves through the middle, that Garnacho is our backup. That's an issue. And again, this is why I bang on about Manchester United's squad quality being short. Why are we relying on an 18-year-old? And it's not even like and I like Garnacho, and I think he is a talent, but he's not a special talent. He's not generational. You don't look at, it's not like he's an 18-year-old like an Mbappe when he was 18, or like a Messi when he was 18, or someone like Ronaldinho or Neymar, where everyone goes, yeah, this player is going to be special. He's just a normal level. He's just a normal level of an 18-year-old, and the fact we're relying on him as big bad Manchester United is terrible. We should have competent backup to Rashford, and then behind that should be Garnacho. If there's an injury to one of the first two, we've seen him come on in games and have an impact as well. That's how Garnacho should be being used. But because our squad is short, we're going to see his deficiencies because he's 18. Very similar to Fred. The same way Fred is a squad player. The reason why Fred's not been getting as much criticism this season is because we've only seen him every now and again. Like, he'll play 2 or 3 games and then he won't start. For the majority of the season, it's been Casemiro and Eriksen. They've been our 2 starters. And then Fred's been coming on the pitch every now and again, and then we'll see McTominay occasionally. But when you play Fred 4, 5, 6 games in a row, you're going to see his deficiencies because he's a squad player. Very similar to Weghorst as well. This is why I don't get on Weghorst. People are like, oh, Weghorst was poor. Weghorst is an average player. Average player puts in average performances, and people act like that shouldn't happen. No, that makes sense. Like, Weghorst is doing as much as he can. We know Weghorst's level. The problem is that he is now our first choice centre forward because Martial can't stay fit. And that shouldn't be the case. But again, that comes back to my original point about Manchester United's squad being short. Before we continue, over 30 of you lot locked in. Let's get up to 20 likes. What are we doing, man? Let's bump this up to 20 likes. We're 4 short. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as well, people, and continue to get your questions in. Of course, if you super chat, I'll get straight to your questions as well. I've started some of the better ones. Big up Star-Lord as well. Riddler says Leeds again, but wait, on Sunday we will discuss that as well. Daredevil says, regardless of Bruno's faults and critics, he's the only player we have that's got some leadership qualities that contributes in the building phase we're in. And that's a problem within itself. The fact that we only have one quote-unquote vocal leader. I class Varane as a leader, but he's more of a leader by example. Martinez is new. Shaw is just Shaw. Malassi is new. Dalot's only just really come into the fold. Casemiro's another one, I believe, is a leader, but more so by example. Same with Eriksen, like they're senior pros. Anthony's new. Rashford, attackers, you don't really look to that from. Martial can't stay fit, so we don't really have a senior. We don't have a lot of senior players like that who are vocal in terms of leadership. As Manchester United, we should not rely on the 18-year-old as our backup. This is why I said the quality in our squad depth isn't there yet, and this is why I keep talking about it. And people keep speaking about title races, and people are acting like it's a foregone conclusion. We just roll through Leeds twice, and it's like, did I expect to win yesterday? Yes. But has that result completely shocked me? No. The performance in the first half did, like the early start, like the poor start, that wasn't good. Big up to RJ as well. Philip says the result against Leeds was 2 points dropped for United. How do you look at that? Do you think it's 2 points dropped or 1 point game, Mike?
It asked me at the start before the game. It's 2 points dropped. At the end of that game, it's 1 point game, like because we crawled back out of the depths for it. But like, as a United fan, we're always going to say it's 2 points dropped. I don't think it depends. It depends about who you're playing either. Like that game could have been anyone, and I would always say that's 2 points lost, even if it was against Arsenal. Not Chelsea, Liverpool. I'll say that's 2 points lost, but that's because I grew up in the Fergie era. Like
You
like 84 born. Like by the time I was really paying attention to football, it was like Fergie's first year, say like early night, like so. Early 90s. It was like 80s, I remember.
80s.
I remember the Premier League starting. I remember that first season. Like I remember going, how the hell have Blackburn Rovers won this? Like,
Rovers,
and then it happened again with like, but yeah, like it's always going to be 2 points dropped for me, and I will feel like that no matter who we're playing or what competition. Something about like standards, isn't it?
Yeah, it is standards 100%, and that's like everyone's different viewpoint on. Everyone has different standards, so that's why some people will say, "Oh, it's 2 points dropped, it's terrible," or other people will look at it as the glass half full and say 1 point game. Yes, at the start of the game, 2 points dropped, but when you look at where we're at, it's definitely 1 point game, and that's why I'm taking the positives. The reason why I'm not being so negative about this result is because we've been in good form. That's why. 1, we've been in good form. 2, I'm highly gassed about this team. 3, this team is way ahead of where I thought it would be, and 4. In the long term, in the long term of things, I've said this. That's the only trophy I think we're in that we can't win. I genuinely don't believe we can win the Premier League. Whereas when I look at the League Cup, we're in the final. That's there. FA Cup, we're in the 6th round against West Ham, and I keep talking about this. The amount of teams that have gone out as well. Arsenal are out, Chelsea are out, Liverpool are out, Newcastle United are out. That competition has opened up in terms of the FA Cup. I look at the Europa League. I think outside of Barcelona, who we are playing, we're probably 1 and 2 in that competition. If you argue, if you want to say Barcelona are favorites and Manchester United are second, cool. So if we get past Barcelona, look at that competition. That the road to that competition is open as well. That's how I'm looking at it. That's just me personally, though. What are you saying in regards to trophies, Mike? Because obviously the Carabao Cup final, we've got the FA Cup I just mentioned, and Europa League as well this month.
It'd be the worst like trilogy of. It'd be the worst trilogy to ever win and claim it as the treble, but I would do it with my whole heart. I would be doing it. I'll be out in the street singing about, oh, we got the treble. But I feel like we'll probably do the Carabao Cup. We'll lift that fairly easily, just on form that we are now, and hopefully we'll have some of the injuries back and getting back into form. FA Cup is always a hard one for me. I feel like we underestimate teams in the FA Cup. We always have, because we've been chasing either Champions League or the title. Maybe this time they'll take it as a full strength. Like, this is another chance for us to get some more silverware, and I feel like that would be something Eric Ten Hag would be all about. That's why I feel like he'll try to win everything he can, but I don't think the Prem is reasonable at the moment, anyway.
No, facts. Like, that's the only one, and that's why I'm looking at it in regards to. That's why I'm not so negative. If we was genuinely in a title race, and I believe we could win the league, I'd be much more pissed about this result. This result, because I look at things long term. Yes, short term, it stunts momentum. It's a bad draw, but it's only a battle. This is a war we can't win. Whereas FA Cup, obviously League Cup, like I said, we're in the final. FA Cup is there. Europa League to me is there. Like, we could win a treble. Like, I would claim it as well. It's not the treble, but it's a treble. And I think the fact that we could potentially, I never thought as a United fan I'd say we're not going to win the Premier League, we're not in the Champions League, and we could potentially have a great season. I didn't think that was possible. That's never happened in my entire time of supporting Manchester United, where I've gone, yeah, they're the 2 major trophies. To have a great season, you must win at least one of them. So the fact that we could win neither of them and we could have a great season, like, that's a fantastic season. If Ten Hag manages to pick up 3 trophies, do I think we win all 3? No, I don't think we win all 3. However, I think we win 2 out of 3. I genuinely do that. I genuinely think that, that we could win. Look at it. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Barcelona have had a couple of injuries as well, like over the last week as well, which is going to make
Dembele's injured. Yeah, Dembele's
right.
injured. I know that much. Yeah.
So I feel like we've probably got more of a chance with this Barca team, what are in the middle of a rebuild, and they've still got a lot of egos. Like they might not take this cup seriously. So then it might just be all right, okay, whatever, because we're going to get in the Champions League. Because there's how many other teams in the league, like. So they might just be like, right, we need to concentrate on league form, which just because it's Barcelona, I feel like they're not going to be asked about winning this. I feel like they might, actually,
That's sorry to cut you off. That's a very valid point. We don't know how serious Barcelona are going to take this competition.
Yeah.
You legit don't know. That's a very, considering they're battling for the league title. But before we continue, hey, big up to Lewis as well for the raid. Large up everyone that has just joined from the raid. Big on my guy, Carefree Lewis G. Let's bump up the likes because there's now over 120 of you lot locked in. And we're only at 30 likes. Let's go. Let's double that. Let's go 60 likes. Come on, man. Like check 1 2 1 2. Soon as you land here, everyone that's came over from the raid, hit the like button. Let's get up to 60 likes. Mod Squad, get on that, please. And subscribe if you're new. We're only looking for 5 new subscribers. Oh, out of all 120 of you lot locked in, I know there's 5 people who have not subscribed to the channel. But yeah, go on, Mike. Carry on, say what you're saying about
right. So yeah, Barcelona. Right. So from my memory, this is the first time they've ever really dropped into this cup. They might have dropped into it and not really, Joe. But I don't feel like they've ever tried to win it, Joe, if they have ever arrived in it. And I feel like they are more focused on the league and rebuilding that squad and making money. And I don't think that they'll make as much money from the Carabao Cup, to be honest, from the Europa Cup
league. But,
yeah.
But no, I fully hear that. I never looked at it like that. That's a very valid point. We don't know if Xavi is going to rotate. Anybody in the chat who's actually like watching Barcelona closely this season, let us know, because it will be very. I expect them to take it seriously because it's Manchester United. Whereas if they were playing a side not as good, then they might have rotated a little bit. Very similar to how I look at Arsenal in this competition. Because I expect Arsenal to rotate in the Europa League. But if they play us, I don't see Arteta rotating like that because they're going to want to beat us. But if they're playing somebody else, I could see them rotating. Definitely, I could see that. Star-Lord says, I'm not being negative, but let's be honest, it was 2 points dropped. We was at home in good form, Leeds were in bad form, and sacked the manager. The only part I disagree with there is the sacked manager bit, because that can always give a team a boost. That's what it is. Yeah. And if Leeds had played like that the entire season, 1, the manager wouldn't have got sacked, and 2, they wouldn't be sat in 17th. Because they put in a good performance. We got to give Leeds credit as well. Absolutely have to give Leeds credit, without doubt. And yeah, RJ, Garnacho was getting mad abuse because he was poor. But do I believe it was over the top? Yes, I'm looking at my senior players. I'm looking at Fred. I'm looking at Bruno. Those two were just as bad and just as much at fault for that poor performance. And neither of those two are 18. They're more senior guys. But people are going to pick and choose and pick their favorites and that. Like Lewis says, like and subscribe to our second home people. Yeah, man, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, all that stuff as well. Dennis says, who's a Real Madrid fan, says, I've been talking to Barca fans, Flawless, because they've already won a trophy this season and aiming for more trophies. What did they win? Did they win the Copa del Rey? Or let us know, Dennis, or was it the other Spanish domestic cup? And like I say, you lot continue to get your questions in as well, just keeping Manchester United related. Dennis says, Flawless, what would be your lineup versus Leeds at Ellen Road? We'll go to you on that, Mike. How would you, so you could pick the team, how would you line up on Sunday at Ellen Road? Bear in mind, Anthony's back as well, so that's an option. Yeah. Anthony is, so let's say Anthony's fit, and I'm presuming Wan-Bissaka's fit, so we'll throw those two back in the mix. Yeah, go on.
Okay. De Gea, Shaw, Martinez, Varane. God. Delo. Midfield. Casemiro's banned.
Left back. So you are left back.
Shaw.
Oh yeah, sure. You said it. My bad. Yeah.
Midfield is God. Midfield is so bad at the moment,
the options is thin.
Just bad, isn't it? So you're probably talking Fred McTominay and Bruno, which is terrible to me. Like the difference
no Sabitzer. You wouldn't start Sabitzer.
Oh, I forgot about Sabitzer. Yeah, well, who do I take out for him? Yeah, so you take out McTominay for Sabitzer, but McTominay does have a history of playing well at Ellen Road.
Okay.
So I don't know. You could take Fred out and put them two. You can toss a coin. I feel like they both do kind of the same job. They've both got shortcomings when it comes to going back. It's the only thing I can think of. So right wing, Anthony. Left wing, Rashford. And then it's sad again. You gotta go Weghorst up front, but I don't even know who else you'd play there because I feel like Rashford doesn't play as well up through the middle.
Yeah, he's not. I agree with that.
He's better. He's just an out-and-out better left winger. So with us being so short up front, I don't even know who else you could even put there. He could be ballsy and try and play Sancho there, but I don't think that works.
That's a shout. It is a shout.
But again, if you play it more as a false nine, you could probably put Sancho there, and then him and Bruno can go past each other at will, basically. But yeah. Oh, actually, I'm gonna go for Sancho up front.
So you play Sancho, Anthony right, Rashford left, Sancho through the middle. That's not a bad shout. Yeah. And then the midfield, you're saying Fred or McTominay. Obviously Bruno in the 10, and then Dalot, Shaw, Varane, Martinez, and obviously the Gea in goal. That's a shout. That's definitely a shout. And you lot, there's over 100 of you lot locked in. What's going on? Let's bump up these likes. We're even at 40 likes, man. Let's get up to 60 likes. What's going on? You lot have not hit the like button as soon as you've landed. Like check 1212, man. Let's bump up these likes. Stop taking liberties and let's bump up these likes. I'm saying there's no way we should be under 40 likes and there's over 100 of you lot in the building. Like I say, continue to get your questions in as well. Just keep them Manchester United related. And big up to Dan as well, you know what I'm saying, who's been a member of the channel for 20 months. Link for the membership is in the pinned comment. Says, I'm not a United fan, but since I've been following this channel and you guys are United fans, I've been engaged a lot with United content, even though I would love to beat you lot. Hey, big up Dan, man. You know what I'm saying? Much appreciated, man. Big up. True Blue here says, is Anthony fit again for the Ellen Road game? Yes, I believe so. I believe he is. I believe he is fit because it wasn't anything major. Same with Wan-Bissaka. It wasn't anything major with him in regards to it was only illness. It wasn't a major injury. That's what I would say. And yeah, Dennis, you're right. 99 people, only 39 likes. We've now just hit 40. 20 more, man. Let's go up to 60. What are we doing, man? Let's bump up these likes. Let's do so. Because you lot are clearly enjoying the content. Emma says, I'm suspecting that Lindelof will start in the midfield. What do you think of that? Because you mentioned, obviously, Sancho playing through the middle, which is not his position currently. But Lindelof in midfield that we have seen a couple times, but only in cameos.
If there was an injury during the game, I wouldn't be mad at it. But again, you could probably bring on whoever, McTominay or Freddie, who's already on the bench. I mean, it'll be a desperate time before that would happen.
I'm not sure if McTominay's fit. I know he's been injured. He might not be back. Rumor has it, this is all I heard, is that it's going to be the Leicester game. But how true that is, I don't know. But yeah, go on, carry on.
Yeah, so if you have got that shortage, if McTominay is injured, Lindelof, I don't know. I feel like I probably prefer Martinez to play
first
in midfield, and then because Lindelof is a liability at centre back. I can only dread to feel like what he'd be doing 90 minutes for a full game in midfield. Like Jesus Christ, it'd be like having Maguire trying to play midfield. Like it just can't happen. It won't happen. The guy will just be lost. Like. Fair enough, he has done it in bits in the past. He did. I'm sure he did it. Was it Benfica?
Yes, a little bit. He has played DM for Benfica. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And has he done it for Sweden as well? As he always just played centre back?
I think he's always played centre back, but I don't follow Sweden like that to know. Someone in the chat will know. We'll go on, carry on.
So out of them two, but I feel like Martinez has got more recent history of playing full games and being like a recognisable centre defensive midfielder. And if you're gonna sit someone in front of two centre backs, because say like Harry or Lindelof is playing, I don't know who else I would want to do that role.
Yeah,
because if no one's getting past him, he'll just smash him and then just walk off. And I love him for it. But no one's getting the centre backs if he's able to get near him. Yeah. So that will lessen the worry of people getting past and making them to run.
Yeah. No, I fully hear that. Lindelof in midfield, I only like from a cameo position. Like in terms of there's 10, 15 minutes to go and we throw him on. I don't want to see him start in midfield. On the ball, all well and good. On the ball, I have no doubts about Lindelof. Whether he's playing DM, whether he's playing as a centre back, no issues. My problem with Lindelof is not engaging enough. That has always been my major issue. And I don't want him in the midfield against anybody. Nevertheless, in a hostile environment away at Leeds, which is going to be, that place is going to be rocking. I don't want to see Lindelof in midfield. I would go with, even though Fred was poor, I'd still go Fred in there with Sabitzer because man, that's from our team. So yeah, I would go De Gea and go. Do I play Dalot or do I go Wan-Bissaka? I play Dalot. I'll get him more minutes under his belt. Left back, I go Shaw, but I like how Shaw, he was involved in the equalizer and he improved as the game went on. So I play Shaw at left back. Martinez and Varane is a no-brainer. Midfield, I would go Fred, Sabitzer. Even I thought Sabitzer was very good, and we'll get onto Sabitzer. Fred wasn't. Obviously, I've already spoken on that. Like, we know Fred's deficiencies. As much as I don't rate Bruno and I thought he was poor, there's no one else to play in the 10, so I would play Bruno. I would bring Anthony back into the fold. I thought we missed him against Leeds. For all the criticism he receives, he's a great outlet out there. He offers us something different out there to any other of our right wing options. So I would play Anthony. Rashford, obviously, from the left. And I would go Sancho through the middle. I wouldn't play Weghorst. I try Sancho in the false nine. It's something I'd spoken about before he had returned. And I like him from a central area. I like the idea of Sancho playing from a central area. And we will speak on Sancho and give him his flowers again anyway, people. So that would be my 11. And again, these likes are not moving. What is going on, you lot? Slow out the marks. I know it's towards the end of the week. Only at 41 likes. Let's go 50 likes, man. Let's go 50 likes and subscribe. You know, I had no new subscribers yet. We're only looking for 5 new subscribers. And I know everyone who is locked in right now has not hit the subscribe button, man. Hit the subscribe button and share this out across the socials as well. Let's do this, people. Let's get on this. Let's bump up to 50 likes. We're at 42. We're 8 short. Yeah, I agree, Flawless. I think you guys should drop Weghorst at Ellen Road. Yeah, I would. Nathan says Fred, Sabitzer, and Bruno midfield will not work. What's the alternative? We don't have an alternative. Like, people say this, like me and Taza was going on about this, and he was talking about, oh, he doesn't like a Bruno, Fred, Sabitzer midfield. Neither do I in an ideal world. Who else do we have? There are only 3 midfield options. Casemiro suspended, Eriksen's injured, McTominay's injured. So, Nathan, please explain to me, give me the alternative. Because there ain't one. You know why they play? Because they're the only 3 fit central senior midfielders we have. I don't like it. But it goes back to what I was saying about Garnacho and what I've said about other players. Our squad depth being thin. But yeah, this is the same squad that people are like, title charge. No, absolutely not. No, not a prayer. Not a prayer. Not good enough. It's not. True Blue says the atmosphere at Leeds is insane and the players are going to be pumped for it. Got to start better than that at OT or else a comeback is not likely. I expect the players to be on it. Big up Flawless. 2 points dropped. There's no debate about it, says JB. Now, I agree with what Mike said, to be honest. At the start of the game, definitely 2 points dropped. But when games don't go your way and you put in poor performances, then it's definitely a point game because we looked dead and buried at 2-0. At 2-0, when that own goal went in, we looked dead and buried 100%. Really did. Let's see, did I miss any questions here? I don't think I did. I'm just scrolling back up, people, to make sure I didn't miss any good questions. And to Yasin, who says beating Leeds at Ellen Road ain't easy. Yes, we all know this, Yasin. Nobody thinks it's going to be easy. I've waxed lyrical before yesterday, before the game, about this game in particular being tough. You know, we're just gonna walk through them. No, I don't get that air of I don't have that air of confidence about this team. Am I confident in it? Yes, but I'm not overconfident. I don't think we're untouchable. We're not at that level yet.
I will say, like, Erik Ten Hag has now seen this team, and then he's coming back, and he's a little embarrassed. So he's going to be working them. And if I could say anything, I feel like he's the type what would have been like Fergie. Like, if he'd lost the game or dropped points like that next game, someone's getting bullied. Like, it's either going to be more physical and they're just trying to wear them down, or they're going to go at him at a million miles an hour from the start, try and get early goals and just try and break the will. But he has a history of doing it. Erik Ten Hag is a very good manager. He can seemingly knows when to change stuff as well, and he's managed it with a fairly thin squad. Yes. He's done pretty much wonders this season.
Absolutely. Well, wonders. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Emma, yeah, I agree with this. Our comeback was good with some proper fight, and I'm real happy about that. That's the positives I'm looking at. Lindelof at DM, Sabitzer as box to box, Sancho at the 10, have Bruno as an impact sub. 10 Hag got to work miracles. See, that's not a good midfield though. Lindelof, Sabitzer, and Sancho is not a good midfield. I don't believe there's much difference between that and Fred, Sabitzer, and Sancho in the 10. Do I believe Sancho is a better 10 than Bruno, even though we've not seen it? Yes. Do I believe Lindelof is much better than Fred in DM? No, because I don't rate Lindelof. They're both, to me, squad players and both average. And we both kept Sabitzer. This is not that much better. The fact that these are the two options is a problem. That's the biggest issue for me. Like, people are talking about Lindelof at DM. He's not even that good in his normal position. So why are we going to move him in? Why are we going to move him to DM and all of a sudden he's going to be there? Like, this is what I don't understand. Lindelof is a bang average centre-back. So we're taking a bang average centre-back, moving him out of a position he don't play in often and expecting him to be better. No, he's going to be average. Same way Fred is average. These men are average players, those two. They're squad players. This is why Lindelof, you could argue, is fourth choice. I think Martinez, Varane are both better centre-backs. Luke Shaw, I think, has been better than him when he's played centre-back this season. He's fourth choice. Again, I don't understand this. And this is the point when I talk about overrating these players. Lindelof is not that good. Like, and then if we move Martinez, then it's a question of, all right, play him DM, and then what? You play Shaw centre-back, and then play Malacia left-back. Then that stretches you thin defensively. Which, if we're going to play a centre-back at DM, I'd prefer it to be Martinez. I'm not trying to personally see Lindelof in the lineup. And Mike was laughing because, and Mike knows, like, he gets it. You know what I'm saying? With this Lindelof thing. I don't know why people think we're magically going to move him and he's going to be good just because he's good on. Is he better on the ball than Fred? Yes. He's very, very good on it. He's very good on the ball. Than that.
I'm better than Fred on the ball.
Yeah. But the bar's not high. The bar's not high. This is my point. I don't get it. If the fact that we're looking at Lindelof and going, you're our go-to guy is a problem. It's a major problem.
People have been saying like Lindelof should be tried at DM like since we bought him.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. It's literally, and then if no manager has actually done it, why would you be calling for it? That's the power I don't understand. If you all the teams, all the managers what we've had, fair enough, some of them have been questionable, but some of them have been very defensive minded. Like Jose was, I am gonna grind out a 1-0 win. If it was up to him, he'd play 6 centre backs, like, and then just get and just grind a win out. Like, but if he weren't gonna do it, I don't think Eric Ten Hag is gonna do it because he wants the ball to be moved forward quickly in a flowing motion. And as good as he is, well, as good as he is on the ball, he's still not got that ability to get that ball and move it quickly and precisely. It just doesn't work for me. And he's not quick enough. And he's a bit of a pussy when it comes to tackling. Like, he won't get stuck in. Like, so, yeah, I don't know.
And this, yeah, I like, this is it. This is the problems we have. Big up to Dan as well with the super chat. Much appreciated. His prediction for United, Europa League, first and second legs. Go to you first on that, Mike. Big up for the super chat as well, Dan. Much appreciated, my guy. Much appreciated.
We're away,
away first. Yeah, it's at the new camp, second leg at Old Trafford. So next week, actually this time next week, the game will be 15 minutes away from kickoff. So yeah, away at the new camp and then at home. What are you saying?
1-1 at the new camp.
Okay.
Because I do feel like we have got the ability to score, even if it is just on a counter-attacking break. And I don't feel we'll keep a clean sheet. I just don't feel like it's possible at the moment. Just because of how weak the midfield is. Like, they'll walk through the midfield.
Casemiro's back, though.
Oh, right. Okay, then.
So Casemiro's back. That changes a lot. Casemiro's back. Yes, Casemiro will be back.
Oh, do I go? No, I'm going to go 1-1. I'm still going to go 1-1. But
so 1-1.
Casemiro. Away, yeah. God.
Home leg.
I want to say United are going to beat them 2-0 at home, but I think again. 2-1 at home. We'll beat them 2-1 at home.
Second leg, Martinez is back. He misses the first leg because of suspension. But second leg, Martinez is back. So it is Martinez, Varane, Casemiro. Like, those three will all be available. All right. So you're saying 1-1 away and 2-1 at home. All right, fair enough. I'm saying 2-1 away. I'm confident. I've been saying this for the longest, for those that don't know. Stylistically, I love how we match up against Barcelona. You mentioned it there, counterattacks. We are very good in transition and counter-attacking. And I love, forget the quality people, because people always get mistaken. I'm not saying we walk through Barcelona. I'm not talking about the quality of their team. They're a good side, defensively good and in good form, and they have the best player on the pitch in Lewandowski, because Lewandowski different. But I like how we match up from a stylistic standpoint. So I'm saying 2-1 in the away leg, and then I'm saying 2-0 at home. That's what I'm saying. I'm confident. I've been confident on this. Again, injuries can change that closer to the time, but I like how we match up. I'm going all right. Martinez is a miss, but you can just play Shaw at centre back. You play him next to Varane. You got Malassi, you got Delo, Casemiro, Sabitzer. You can play Bruno in the 10, Anthony right, Rashford left. You can go Sancho up top, Weghorst up top. Might be Martial, might be fit. If he was fit, I would do that. So yeah, that's what I would say, Dan. But much appreciated for the super chat as well. And you lot, like say, even move. Let's get up to 50 likes. We're 7 short, man. Let's get up to 50 likes and subscribe if you're new as well. We're only looking for 5 new subscribers to get us to 5,235. Hit the subscribe button if you're new, because I know everybody that is locked in definitely is not subscribed to the channel. Hit the subscribe button, man, and let's bump up the likes as well. That's the toll you have to pay when you enter the city. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're 6 short. Let's go. Let's do that, please. Big up to Jez as well, who says big up everyone. Everyone hit the like button. Large up Jez as well. I'm guessing this is Nick. This is what I'm guessing.
More than likely.
Yeah, he said give up. Yeah, big up to Nick. We go ignore his comment, but big up to Nick. Go subscribe to Red Line Picture. The link's in the title as well for Mike's channel. So like I said, if you're a Marvel head, if you like films and you want to see previews and recaps, but in-depth previews, in-depth recaps, head over to the Red Line Picture Gang. Literally, the link is in the title. So go subscribe to the channel, people. Go subscribe as well. RJ says Fred can't carry the ball forward. Neither can Lindelof, though. This is why I don't get the Lindelof. I'm not saying, RJ, you said this, but I don't get why people think Lindelof is the savior for our midfield. For all the deficiencies Fred has, Lindelof has deficiencies there too. And Lindelof don't have the physicality or the mobility or the tenacity or the ability to win the ball back as much as Fred does. So they both have their shortcomings.
That's the one thing Fred's got on his side. Like, he will work and work and work. Fair enough, sometimes you're like, what are you doing, bro?
Yes.
You're running, I get what you're doing, you're running around, but sometimes he'll have a really surprising game, and I feel like he's probably due one. Honest to God, like he plays himself into form and out of form quicker than any United player I think I've ever seen. It'll take him 6 games to get a decent game out of him, and then the game after, he'll be the worst player you've seen on the pitch. It's wild to me. But he is due that one now. He's due that one good one. I don't know when it'll be. It might be against Barca next week or whatever, and he bags a couple of goals.
You know what's crazy about Fred? It wouldn't surprise me if he was mad at a match in his game on Sunday. It would not surprise me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then you've got to worry about the next game, and you're like, oh no, that's his one.
And that's the issue, and that's the issue, man. He's a squad player, and that's why he shouldn't be playing as much as he's playing. But Ten Hag don't have a choice because of the injuries that we have in suspensions. Like, we can't really do anything about it. We really can't. Let's see what else you lot are saying as well. Let me see. Let's go. Emma says this is interesting. This is flew under the radar. I like this. I was actually quite impressed with Palestri and thought we saw his better quality than we did the last game he played, where I think he looked like a kid in men's football. People are overlooking the impact he has. He wasn't on the ball a lot. He wasn't great, but he was a plus. He was a positive, and he was involved in the goal. He was involved in the first goal because Sabitzer made the spin, clipped the ball to Palestri. Palestri's then gone and ran past the guy, laid it back to Delo. Delo's then crossed it in for Rashford, and Rashford has scored a fantastic header. So yeah, like, it's all about just being positive. And one thing about Palestri, he's direct, he's quick. I know he's 21. I'm not saying he's the answer, but for right now, where we are in the season, it's all hands on deck. We've spoken in depth again about how thin our squad is. So Palestri, I like that'll do him the world of good. Because even when I seen him at Forest, when he played against Forest, he did okay, which I like. What are you saying about Palestri in particular from yesterday, Mike?
Yeah, it does look like he needs to put a few pounds on just to hold his weight, but he seems to have an eye. He can pass. Like, I feel like his passing is probably underrated. His movement is pretty good. Again, I feel like that'll get better the more he plays. He probably should have been loaned out, but our team's that weak, like we can't afford it, which is wild to me. I feel like his development's been stunted by being at United, though, like, and not being out playing first team football from the age of 18, like, consistently. I hope he can really turn it around, but he's another one. I just feel like he needs to put some muscle on, just so he's not getting bullied around quite as much. Because, well, not too much, because you don't want him to lose that yard of pace he's got on him.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's surprisingly quick. Like, he's got that first 10 meters or whatever, he just seems very quick to accelerate, which is kind of what you need from a winger.
Facts. Facts. Now, you do 110%. Dan says, are you guys playing this weekend too? Yes. We are playing Leeds again, this time the away game. That's how the fixtures have dropped. So we're playing Leeds again. Where else? MJ says, if everyone's fit, we beat Barca in both legs. The Liga isn't anywhere near as good as the Premier League, so their form is a little overestimated. If everyone's fit, I do believe we beat Barca over both legs. I don't watch the Liga like that to compare the two. So I'm not going to say, yeah, we're definitely going to beat them because of that, but I just fancy our chances. I'm confident going into games. Not overconfident, but I'm confident. That's why I predicted 2 wins. But it's not going to be easy against Barcelona. They're going to have times in both legs where I think the momentum's with them, and we're going to have to see it out. But I don't watch the Liga like that to say so.
Same there.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I watched any of them.
Yeah, I've not watched Barcelona in a minute. Like in full, like I've seen clips and highlights and stuff, but I haven't watched them like a full, sat down and watched the full game. Actually, I tell a lie, Champions League. I watched them in the Champs. And I said this, even though they've improved since then, I said they're gonna go out. And people was like, nah, you're wrong, they're gonna go through. Nah, I said it. I'm saying I watched them once. I watched their opening game, I think it was, because their group was Bayern Munich, Inter Milan, and Victoria P. And I said, they ain't making it through this group. And I said, they're a Europa League side. But like, nah, they're gonna get through. And look where they ended up. The crazy part is I also think Inter Milan are a Europa League side in terms of level. Yes, Barcelona have improved since then, but we've also improved since then. So that's why I'm confident going into every game. Yes, I'll criticize and I'll state when I think people are getting ahead of themselves. But of course, I'm confident against any team. We could play anyone. And I'm confident. We could play Arsenal again. We could play Manchester City. We could play, if it's a PSG, whoever you think the best team is in Europe, and I'd fancy our chances over 2 legs because of the manager we have and because of the players we have. For all our deficiencies, we are one of the better teams in Europe. We're one of the most informed teams in Europe. And that's why I'm sat here saying, yeah, we'll win at least 2 trophies. At least, people. At least. That being said, speaking of trophies, Carabao Cup final coming up. I know you must be gassed. We finally made it to, we've made it to a domestic cup final in however long. We really need to win a trophy because we haven't won one since 2017. But Carabao Cup, how would you like to see us set up? How are you looking at Newcastle? Because they're also playing well as well.
Are we talking with a full strength squad or like?
Yeah, let's talk full strength because everybody by Ericsson is available.
It should be all right.
Everyone by Ericsson should. So yeah, we'll go with that. We'll say everyone's fit by Ericsson.
So De Gea, I feel like no one else is going to play instead of De Gea. It's stupid to think that. I would rather have the low because I feel like he covers the back post better with crosses coming in, whereas Wan-Bissaka just gets lost. And I feel like Newcastle can do damage that way. Varane, Martinez, Shaw, because I feel like Shaw going forward is a little bit more steady than Malaysia. Casemiro, Sabitzer, Bruno, midfield. Hopefully they would have all played together a little bit of time for a little bit before then anyway, so they could start getting used to each other's game. Anthony, Rashford, and Martial if he's fit, but then I'm worried that he'll break down within the first 10 minutes of the game, and then you'll need to switch the whole squad up because I'll be worried about using Weghorst in the final. You never know; he might be the one game where he can just get a lucky deflection and he pops back out to him and he gets to smash it in again. But with that team, I feel like we should beat them quite handily. I'll go for like 2-0, 3-0 for that.
Okay, right.
Because I feel like they'd be as up for it for that game than any other game this season. The chance that they get to have a bit of silverware, which a lot of them would never have had. Ten Hag's going to screaming like he needs this.
Yes,
he wants this. With the sale of the club coming up, everyone will be feeling, oh, if it can be that guy, what can help them win the trophy before the sale, I'll get that fat pay packet when the new lot come in. Yeah, I'm confident about that game though. Newcastle are playing good football, but I just don't think that they've got enough to cope with that team.
Fairs. And you mentioned it there because everyone's been talking about it, has been the talk of the town. There's still yet to be an official bid, but a lot of reports talking about Qatari investment. Well, not even investment, ownership.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With taking Qatari ownership taking over Manchester United. So your thoughts on it? Do you think it happens? Do you think we get an official bid this week? Do you think it happens before the end of the season? Are you excited? Are you against it? Would you prefer somebody else, like in terms of ownership? Thoughts on it?
It's hard because like I don't Qatar own PSG?
Yes, but from when I read, and this is an article, it wasn't the same Qataris who was involved or something.
Oh, right. So it's like
it was something.
And this is just going to be private family or whatever, something like that.
Something. Your guess is as good as mine. That's all I read. But yeah, go on.
If I don't have to think about how they've got that amount of money, then yeah, cool, sign me up. Right? But then it's that nagging feeling of, am I just selling part of my soul off for wealth in football? And do I really care about that? Because like the rest of the league's getting corrupted by it anyway. So why not just jump in double-footed? Like, would I want someone else to buy it? I don't know who you could ever trust, to be honest. Until something's put out there with, right, this is what we're going to do. This is the amount of money we're going to put into the club after we bought it, as well as that. And are they going to keep on the same board? Like, they should fire everyone from like Ten Hag up. Like, just get rid, like clean the whole ship, and then we need to put people in place, because the amount of money you're paying to the executives and the board and stuff doesn't come off your financial fair play. So you can literally go out and buy and get and pay the most money any of the CEOs or whatever would want. Get the best people in the world, and you don't have to worry about financial fair play there. So that's helpful. And that's what I do. I don't think if that doesn't matter if it's the Qatar ownership or the gym or an American investment fund or someone from Asia, it doesn't matter. They need to fire everyone and then bring in like the best quality people for the job, which we haven't had since, oh God,
the longest.
As far as I remembered, since Gil, maybe.
The longest, yeah, it's probably Gil. It's probably Gil.
Which is scary.
Crazy. Gil, you know,
scary to think of. You know, like it's wild to me that's been able to happen. But as long as the Glazers were making money, they weren't going to rock the boat. Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Gil. Yeah. In regards to it, I spoke on it on Tuesday's ManDem United, where me and Taza was going back and like forth about it because he's like convinced that it's going to happen. I'm just still waiting for a concrete offer. That's what it is. Yeah. Yes, reports have come out. It was an article in the Daily Mail. So I take that with a pinch of salt. Other people and credible journalists have tweeted about it in terms of the interest. Yes, there's interest. No doubt about it. The reason why I don't talk about this in depth is because nobody's put the money up yet. So this is why I don't talk about whether it's the Qataris, whether it's Jim Radcliffe, whether it's somebody else. Somebody make an official bid. Because then we have something actually concrete to talk about. Because all of this right now is just pure speculation to me. And yeah, we'll discuss it like briefly, like Mike did there and talk about it in theory, but like that's all it is currently, is in theory. Like people are dreaming up these scenarios in the summer where we got 700, 800 million to spend, and we're gonna sign this player, and it's like, yo, they gotta put the money up first.
You gotta put the money up, and the way the club's been run so far anyway, you would run foul of the new financial fair play rules what are coming in, and with what's happened recently in the league, you've got to be kind of sketchy about that, like. So you need to clean out a good amount of the squad as well, and lower the budget, like lower the amount you're paying out every month. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be like the first season we hit the ground running and everyone's coming. 200 million for Mbappe. It's just not going to happen. Like it's not going to happen. I feel like there will be some signings coming in. I feel like people will be getting told to run down the contract so they can get them on a free. So it's going to save them money that way. And I feel like people will do that when they know that you're going to be owned by some ridiculous billionaire what's going to throw out whatever wage you want at them. But it's just not going to happen for the first maybe 2 seasons.
Yeah.
We might get one really good player and then fill the rest of the squad out. But it's not going to be an instantaneous, well, we're going to do a Galacticos and buy everyone under the piss and sun. It's just not going to happen. You'd be crazy to think that.
Absolutely.
Todd Bowley's managed to do it, but he's also paying off all his debts over 10 years.
Okay. Is that how he's doing
That's how he's doing it. And that's going to catch up to him because all it takes is them to need a couple more signings because through injury or people wanting out because they're not getting game time. And it's going to screw up how much you're going to be paying out every year is going to start racking up. And that's going to bite them in the ass at some point. It's got to, unless they're thinking we're going to pull out the biggest sponsorship deals any Premier League club's ever had, and I just don't see that happening either.
Fairs. And big up to you lot. We have gone over 50 likes. Let's get up to 60 likes. We're looking for 9 more, man. Let's get up to 60 likes and hit that subscribe button if you are new as well. We're only looking for 5 new subscribers, and there's just under 70 of you lot locked in. Please continue to get your questions in. Just keep them, Manchester United related as well. Dan says, would United ever get Palestri and Garnacho playing at the same time? If injuries were to happen, would it work? With injuries, it definitely could happen. I don't particularly want to see it because that means we're in a bad way if we're relied on an 18-year-old and a 21-year-old. Bear in mind, Palestri's still not made his full debut yet. He's still not started a competitive match. I think he's only played twice, and one of them was yesterday. So if we're at that point, would it work? Depends who you're playing against. If we're playing lower league opposition, yeah. If we were to get past West Ham and then we're playing at lower league opposition in the FA Cup and I've seen Garnacho, Palestri starting, I'm not really going to pay it too much mind because they're going to play at some point. So that's how I'm.
Have they already played together as well? I'm pretty sure they've already played together when they've both come on as subs.
Yeah, possibly.
But I mean, it would have been just like a 10-minute cameo, but I'm pretty sure they both have played together. Can't remember who it was off the top of my head, though. It wasn't too long ago, though, obviously, because they've only recently started playing. Like,
might have been Forest.
Any amount. Yeah,
it might have been Forest. It might have been Forest. I can't remember who was playing left-hand side at that point. It might have been the away game against Forest or potentially the home game. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of see him playing from kickoff one game. Not this season. If it happens, God knows what's happened to our team. Like, are we just resting everyone for a cup final? Yeah. Maybe. Are we confident that we've got Champions League locked up? We're not going to drop out the top 4. We've got a cup final around the corner. All right, go on then. Let them run out and play against West Ham or something like that.
Yeah.
Or Southampton or someone like that. Give them some game time. But it can't be done before then. Like, if we're still fighting for Champions League and there's a chance we're going to drop out, I don't know why you would do it.
Fully hear that. Emma's saying pretty sure it's within the next 10 days that bid should come in. Yeah, because Taz was telling me it was this week, but I'm hearing there's middle of February, there's the deadline or something like that. But we're going to find out. Then it says, Flores, I think you guys should loan out Palestri because Garnacho was still a teenager, whilst Palestri should want game time. But we did loan out Palestri, he just didn't play. He was at Alaves, I believe, last season. I think we've loaned him out a couple times. You lot in the chat will know better than me, but he was definitely on loan to a La Liga team last season and he just didn't play. Plus, he's 21. It's at a point where it's like, we can't really afford to just be letting you go. If we let you go, obviously Diallo's going to come back. So then it'd be Anthony Diallo one side, and you got Rashford, Garnacho the other. Obviously, Sancho's capable of playing on both wings as well. There ain't no space for him. Palestri may just be that squad player, which I'm not against. What are you saying about Palestri, man, in regards to that?
I said before, I feel like he should have been loaned out at the start of the season, if not in the winter one. But our team is so threadbare, and like it couldn't happen. He's got until the end of the season to prove that he is a squad player, and to make sure he's going to be here next season. If he's in doubt, I'd send him out to somewhere in the Championship next year if he's not proven himself as a first team player, because he needs to get reps in a league which is closer to the Premiership than La Liga is, because it doesn't. To me, it doesn't make any sense sending anyone to a league which doesn't play football anywhere near the same as us.
I hear that.
If you're sending someone out on loan to get reps in, to get minutes under the belt, to get used to playing in front of big crowds and under pressure, why are you doing that in like the Liga? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's the wrong type of style of football. Sending him to Sunderland like Diallo, and he's starting to prove his worth there now.
Yeah. That's a valid point.
He's getting used to getting like smashed about and pushed and like a proper English fucking scumbag defenders going to try and take chunks out of him. Like, they probably need that, and I think Diallo would probably say, "Yeah, I probably needed this to come back to United to prove I've got levels." I just don't think he's had the opportunity to do that, and I think that's slowed his progression.
No, fairs. No, that's fairs. Nathan says we down in the dirt for suggesting Palestri and Garnacho to start either wing. That's where we're at though. But again, this is the same side people are talking about. Yeah, I can go win a Premier League title. No, and when I said that, people were like, "Why not?" And all of a sudden we draw against Leeds, and I've not seen one question or one person talk about title talk. How do we beat Leeds yesterday? The conversation will be different. Like, I always keep my feet on the ground all the time. Always keep my feet on the ground. Hey, big up Vader, man. Good to see Vader in the building. Says larger, flawless, and you guessed. Do you think the Super League talk would slow the sail down of United? What's going on? I've missed this completely. So I don't know. Please let me know in the chat if you don't know in regards to the Super League and what's happening. Do you know about it, Mike? This is news.
Is that the Super League? What all the protests were about a couple of years ago?
Yeah. But I don't know if it's the same. If it's the same format or it's new. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
I can't see United ever joining it just because of what happened a couple of years ago. What I would have thought would have stopped United ever wanting to do it, because it's weird for United fans to be split 50-50 on something, never mind like 80-20. And the amount of fans were like, "Why? What are you doing? We're not an American league. We need to be able to get relegated. We need to be able to get promotion, not just be in a single league, just collecting money for owners." It's anti-competitive to me, because we've got the Champions League. That is the Super League to us. Like, if you think any different, I don't know what to say to you. Are you just a big old capitalist who just wants to see like the owners make more money for less game time? Because that's what it feels like it'll be.
100%. Jazz says there's a bunch of new rules, format different. It's a lot to explain. All right, then. So yeah, that means there's a lot going on. Yeah, it's news. Like I said, it's news to me. MJ says, how many players do you think we will realistically buy in the summer with the takeover and sell? If we were to get taken over, I can definitely see a right back coming in, one right back. Definitely one centre back, because I see Maguire or Lindelof leaving. Definitely one central midfielder, because I see McTominay or Fred leaving. There was reports about McTominay wanting to leave. Obviously, we know Ten Hag's not a fan of Fred like that. There was reports in January about both Lindelof and Maguire leaving, so I see that. Definitely see a couple strikers. So yeah, realistically, players, I think it would be, I said, a right back, a centre back, a midfielder. At 10, actually, I throw in the mix as well, because I don't think Donny will stick around, and 2 strikers, so that's 6. But that's with a takeover. I could be wrong there. But there's a lot of players who aren't getting game time who I think will want to leave. That's what I'm saying on that. What are you saying about players realistically? Let's say we are
5 in, I would think. I think 5 in, 4 out.
Something like
that. I'm not sure who those 4 would be, but I don't feel we'd make the team weaker by selling more than we brought in. That'd be wild. See as how thin we are. But 5 in, I feel like it would be either one out-and-out striker and then someone who could play across the front 3. I feel like that's more realistic. I'd like to see another centre midfielder come in, another centre back, and a right back, like you said. Because I feel like Wan-Bissaka's probably going to go. I feel like Harry might go. Fred could go.
Johnny as well.
Well, that's it. I think that depends on how bad his injury actually is, because he might still be injured at the start of next season, and no one's going to want to buy him.
Injured player, yeah, that's true.
It's the same with Martial. Like, we might want to sell him. Doesn't mean anyone's got to want to buy him because like he can't play 20 minutes without being like Mr. Glass. He's broken more than he's fit. So no one's going to take a punt of 10, even if it's 10 million. No one's going to waste that money. Because I just physically can't see that happening. But we need to fill out more squad than I would have thought at the start of the season. Because he's been, as much as some players have improved, the deficiencies in what are shown in others now are like kind of glaring.
Yeah. No, I fully hear what you're saying. There we go. So this is breaking. This is Judy Sports breaking. Sky Sports News confirmed the Qatar royal family are very likely to bid for United in a full takeover before next Friday's deadline. Saudi billionaires have also entered the process. So it's Qatar royal family and the Saudi billionaires.
I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah,
I don't believe. Yeah, it just feels like the Glazers putting out fingers to try and get the bids up. Yeah, they're definitely bidding for it. So you should come and join us. You'll have to bid more, obviously. But yes, they're also bidding. It just feels like it's been fed out from the club. Until they've actually gone, no, we've got a bid. I'm not trusting anything about this sale.
And you know what? That's my thought process on it. I don't know if it's older heads like yourself, Charles, to Nuruddin's been on the same wavelength, who have just all been very like, I need to see something concrete. And that's where I'm at with it. That's why I'm not invested. That's why I'm not engaged. That's why I'm not here sat. All right, we're going to do this, this, and that when we get takeovers and we're going to take over the world. No. Somebody, again, I keep saying this. Hella talk. Somebody put the money up. Yeah. Where's the official bid? Where's the official bid? Yeah, no stress, Mike. You lot continue to get the likes up. We're one short of 60 likes. One short. So hit that like button, please. Share this across all the socials as well. We've had 2 new subscribers. Big up to you lot, man. Let's aim for 3 more before we close out this live stream. Don't forget, we're back tonight. 12:30 people. Back tonight, 12:30. Myself and Cam, that is the Manchester United and Arsenal show. So we're going to talk from the Arsenal podcast meets the ManDem United podcast. So I'm sure we'll be discussing more of the rumored takeovers of Manchester United and if Arsenal can bounce back after their loss to Everton last weekend as well. I might try and do a fan call. Actually, let me know. You know what? I'll let you lot decide. Do you lot want me to do a fan calling show tonight on the Twitch? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? And if you lot let me know if you want me to do that, I'd probably do it at the time. It would be 8:30, 9 p.m. It'd be 8:30, 9 p.m. You lot let me know if you want me to do a fan calling show tonight on the Twitch. 8:30, 9 p.m. UK time. Let me know. Judy Sports goes on to say, Saudi news is coming from Mike Keegan, who broke the Newcastle Saudi takeover news. He said there have been bids already made. So if bids have already been made, hey, someone got to confirm that. You know what I'm saying? And then see, man are saying different things. JB just said, just in, while a bid from Qatar has not yet landed, sources in Doha believe one could well be before the deadline. This is what I'm saying, man. Just hella speculation, a lot of rumors. What is speculation? A lot of rumors. Then it says, I'll ask Mike when he gets back as well. Question to Flawless and Mike, do you see Martial leaving in the summer? So many variables with Martial. So I can't answer this. I don't know. So many variables with the Martial deal. 1, the takeover we're talking about could change everything. 2, if Martial miraculously somehow manages to stay fit from now to the end of the season, has a good end to the season, helps Manchester United win trophies, because we know Ten Hag's a fan of him. Does Martial want to leave? If he's injured, no, we can't move him on. Because like Mike said, who's going to want to buy an injured player? And we need players in that position, regardless anyway. Martial stays or wherever he goes. We have 1 senior permanent striker at the club because Weghorst is only on loan. So yeah, with Martial, I don't know. I really don't know. And see, look, rumors is different. See, look, Jody said one thing. I'm not saying you man are wrong. And JB saying another. JB says it's easy sell Martial ASAP. Can't sell a player if he's injured though, JB. It's all well and good, but if come summertime, Martial is injured, you cannot move him on. Same way with Donny van de Beek, even though Donny's not injury prone, but you're not moving on an injured player. And it's highly likely Martial will be injured. Yeah, go on, Mike.
It's like when we sent him out on loan last time. if we could have sold him, they would have done it then. He's just coming off his best season at United, and then all of a sudden, he's gone abroad and then turned to Mr. Glass and come back and turned to even. He's just got worse. It might just be one of those guys where he's just done out here. Like we're just going to be paying his contract off until he's finished. Like, and then he'll leave on a free somewhere. Cause it's like someone coming and going, Joe, what? Who someone should buy? Phil Jones. Joe, that guy what has literally been broken since 2 seasons ago. It's just because like we can rate them when they're fit doesn't mean that some other club's going to take the gamble and go, yeah, we're going to spend millions of dollars, and God knows how much his wages would be, because he's not going to leave our team to go somewhere and take less a pay cut. You'd be mad to. Like that's like saying that I'm not happy in my job, but I've got to go to do the same job for another club, but on less money. Who's going to do that? Like seriously, like no one in the right mind would do it. So unless he finds form and then stays uninjured for a season and a half, no one's going to think about touching him. He'll have to prove that he's got over his inability to stay fit.
Yeah. And that's legit.
And that's not going to happen in half a season.
Yeah. And that's what it is. And if you didn't see Mike, as you've gone both Juddy, so Mike Keegan, who broke the Newcastle takeover, he's saying this here. Saudi news is coming from Mike Keegan, who broke the Newcastle Saudi takeover news. He said there have been bids already made, but then JB said, while a bid from Qatar has not yet landed. Sources in Doha believe one could well be before the deadline. So again, it's all rumors and speculations. That's what this is. But we will see. Why can't we have 4 strikers in the team? I don't get selling a quality player that can have an impact when called upon. Nathan, you've been here long enough. You know my thoughts on this. I've said we need 3 strikers. I've said go and sign. Martial moves on. Cool. Sign 3 strikers though. And when I say that, go get your senior striker. Go get your backup. And if Weghorst was fair choice, cool. I agree with you. I don't think we need 4 because we only play 1 up front, but I believe we need 3. And that's the way Manchester United should be moving, in my opinion. But again, we need 3 strikers, but we also need another number 10, depending on Donny van der Beek. We also need another 2 central midfielders behind Casemiro and Eriksen. So that's what? That's 3, 4, 5. That's 6 players. Also need a right back. That's 7. Behind Maguire and Lindelof, if they both move on, we need 2 centre-backs. That's 8 and 9. You're not particularly going to get... How much is this going to cost? 9 players we need in general. And you're not wrong, Nathan, in what you're saying. I agree, but I understand how short our squad is. And to me, we need 9 players. Not all first teamers, some first team, some squad players. You're not going to get that in one window. So it's a question of, all right, maybe get 2 strikers, maybe get 1 central midfielder, 1 defender, and just build upon build. And hopefully they have the impact of the signings of the last summer. And then we can go on and compete and challenge for Premier League, go and compete in the Champions League properly. But as strikers, that has been a hot topic. I want to get your thoughts on it, Mike. Harry Kane, would you take him at Manchester United? Is it price dependent? Do you not want him because of the age? What are you saying about Harry Kane?
His age is definitely against him. And the fact that he seems to spend a good couple of months out of the season injured with his ankle. Mm-hmm. That's only going to get worse the older he gets. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not going to improve. And he likes to drop too deep for the style of football Ten Hag plays.
Right.
If you're playing up front for Erik Ten Hag, you need to be staying in and around that box. There's no wandering back to the halfway line to pick up the ball to play 1-2 with your winger and then whip the ball to the other side of the pitch when you need to be in the middle. I just don't feel like it works for me. Like a couple of years ago, before we started playing in this system, yeah, all day. But closer to 27 than 30. Like don't get it twisted. Like he is a great footballer. Just don't feel like he would work for us. Like if he come, I love it. Like I'll back him to the hilt, but I wouldn't spend 100 million on him.
I wouldn't spend 100 million on him. No, I wouldn't. I agree with that. That's been my major talking point on this. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, 100 million is far too steep. And it's the age thing is bothering me as well. Like I know he's going to break the league scoring record and stuff like that, but I just don't feel like he fits into a United team.
So you don't think that Ten Hag could get the best out of him with him altering his game? Because I know you said there that he drops too deep and into the midfield, but Ten Hag couldn't play him. Because we've seen Ten Hag with players not as talented as Harry Kane have a positive impact. So you don't think he could alter his game and get the best out of a Harry Kane?
Unless if he's gonna turn him into like a Lewandowski, like obviously, because he's got the ability in and around the box. But I don't know if Harry Kane would be all right with that, because he likes to be the big fish. Like he wants to be. He reminds me of Ronaldo in that way. Like he needs to be the guy what's seen to be the main man, and that always pulls him out of position. He always drops short. He always drops deeper because he wants to be on the ball, because he wants to be seen on the ball.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like that would work for us at the moment. But like you said, if he had a talk with Eric Ten Hag and he was like, "I'm going to fine you £1,000 for every time you move away from their box," like that might stop him, right? Or 10 grand or something stupid, like. But it'd have to be severe enough, like he's going like, "I'm not moving away from this point," like. But like I said, I'd appreciate him when he comes. I'd be worried though. I'd be worried that we're going to need another striker as well, as because he's going to end up laid up at some point. Because he does. He's always laid up at some point in the season, if not a couple of times. He gets kicked in the ankle and falls over, and then it's done.
With Harry Kane, my biggest point has been, I think he'd fit into the system fine. I don't really have an issue with that. It's the price point. That's what I'm looking at. It's the price point I'm looking at. And Jez, who's a Spurs fan, says, "I disagree, to be honest. It's more of an instruction with us having to drop deep because of the lack of ball playing players around in the team." Because I think he would fit in fine. You know what I'm saying? In terms of our system, I don't mind that. It's all about the price point. 100 million, 80, 90 million for Harry Kane, I'm not with. Just simply because he's in the last year of his deal and his age. I'm not with it. I'm really not. But if we manage to get Harry Kane for 50, 60 million, I think that's a steal.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
it's like if it was 50, 60, I'll be like, because like Casemiro was what, 60?
Yeah.
With like a year. Yeah. So I wouldn't go above that for someone his age anyway. I feel that's wild to me. Like, I'm going to spend this on someone who's definitely on his last contract at the top level.
That's fair. And also, Jody says Kane for 3 years or Osimhen for 8 years. It's an easy choice. Another potential option is Vlahovic, considering Juventus's financial position. What are you saying about those two? Because there are another two names that have popped up a lot. Osimhen at Napoli, Vlahovic from Juventus. I don't know how much you know about him, but thoughts.
I haven't really watched much of Italian football this season. Like, so I know Napoli. It's hard to get players out of Napoli at the best of times.
Yes,
it's just hard. Like they've got. There's something about their structure where they're like, we will demand what we want. It's kind of like Dortmund, I suppose. Like they demand what they want, and if they're not going to get that, you're not getting the player. It's as simple as that. And they will always put huge things on. Juve are just really in a bad place. So I feel like that's the more likely of the two. Would I take Kane and Vlahovic as like the two strikers coming in? Yes,
of course.
Like that'd be banging. Osimhen, I haven't seen enough, and again, it's going to be costing what, 80, 90 million.
Vlahovic, because of Juventus's situation, we don't know exactly.
It's going to be a cut deal.
Could be available at cheaper, which then makes that deal to me much more appealing. Because Vlahovic is the one I look at those three and go, no. But if he's available at half the price because of the situation Juventus are in, you gotta go take advantage of that. To me,
exactly. Yeah, and especially I feel like you'll provide if you are bringing Kane in as well, because like you said, we do need to bring two strikers in. Like the minimum, we're gonna need to bring two in. I feel like Kane and Vlahovic would work. Like it's like you could swap them two players in and out of a team, and you wouldn't really have to change much of what's going on around them. They'd both be able to play similar styles, and I don't know that much about Osimhen, like to say he would be the same type of player. Yeah. He might want to be playing just counter-attacking stuff, or he's like I said, I've not seen much of Osimhen, so I don't know.
Yeah. His profile fits, he is pace and power in terms of he would fit a counter-attacking style, like profile-wise. I've not watched a lot of it, but from what I've seen and then people who have watched him, that's what they've told me. I like his profile. I do like his profile. Osimhen. Waste the money, and like you said, the Napoli. I don't want to spend 100 million on anybody. No. That's not called Kylian Mbappe. I don't think any player is worth it personally. If it's Kylian Mbappe, cool. We should not be spending 100 M's on anybody. Bar him, in my opinion. Where else?
Yeah, there's no one else about at the moment where what you'd even consider spending that amount of money on.
Facts. Jody,
not off my head anyway.
Yeah, says United already reported not to want to waste the summer dealing with Levy, but Napoli director of football is just as difficult to deal with. Big up Maino signing a new deal. I did it, and yeah, you touched on that there, Mike, in regards to Napoli being difficult to deal with. And the differences with this deal with Levy is if Kane wants to leave and Kane is in the last year of his deal, United or whoever goes in for Harry Kane is in a position of power. Yeah. Like very similar to the Juve deal, and let's say they have to sell players. If you then go and try and sign a Vlahovic, you're negotiating from a position of power. So it's kind of like you either lose Kane on a free or you sell him to a cut price. And yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Levy was like, all right, we'll just keep him for a season and lose him on a free. But that's bad business. Then you got an unhappy player on your books. And that's dependent on Harry Kane saying, I want to leave, and not doing like he did when he was going to go City, actually kicking up a fuss, handing a transfer request. That's what he needs to do. Well, and
I think it depends on who's got Champions League football though. If they somehow manage to get into Champions League next year, he might be happy to go, right, yeah, this is my last season with you boys. I'm gonna put my heart into it because I've got Champions League, but next season I'm gone. Like I'm going for free, and someone's gonna pay him an absolute ridiculous wage this season after.
Absolutely, because it's like his last big contract in his prime years. And Emma, I'm with this. You know this. I've been saying this. If Brentford have a good replacement for Tony, then I don't think he's going to be hard to get. I like him. I'm a big fan. Depending on what goes on with the investigation, with the betting, if he's available, I'm going to get Ivan Tony. 60 M's.
How much do you reckon they would want for him? 60?
I reckon 60. I think 60.
I think you get him out of there for under that.
Yeah.
I think you'll get him out of there for about 45.
You reckon 45? Hey, anything 45 to 60, I'm with that for Ivan Tony. I'm a big fan. I think he's been great at Brentford, and I think if you put him in a team with better players and he's getting more of the ball and getting more service, you'll get even more out of him. So I've been a big fan of Ivan Tony. Massive fan. Absolutely. Absolutely. I wanted to get to one last thing. And so Jody says, just so people are aware, Mike Keegan is known as tier 1 when it comes to takeover news and the business side of reporting. All right, we're going to see what happens. Like I said, I got the Arsenal Manchester United show late tonight, people. It's on the upcoming live stream schedule. So we're going to see. I'm sure I'll get plenty of questions on it as well. And we're at 64 likes. Let's bump that up to 6 likes, people. We're going to close out in the next couple minutes. So let's get us up to 70 likes. We only need 6 more. And also subscribe here, man. We're free short still of the subscriber milestone. We're only looking to get to 5,235. And on top of that, subscribe to Mike's channel, Red Lion Picture. Like I said, all your film reviews, series reviews, previews as well. Make sure you check that out. Let's see. Jez also says, I would agree with you, Flawless, if it wasn't for Levy. Levy let Ericsson go to 6 months and missed out on a lot more money. That's 60 million he can make by having Kane at the club. First, I could see Levy doing something like that. I could definitely see Levy doing something like that. Anything else you want to add, Mike, in regards to Manchester United before we close out?
No, I'm going to get drunk and watch them again this weekend. So I will be in your chat at some point shouting obscenities. More, hopefully good ones, just because we all hate Leeds scum. We all hate Leeds scum.
It's facts. You smitten. That is 110% facts. Hey, big up to Nick as well. Big up Alan, the whole Red Lion gang. Let them know where they can find you and and explain in further detail like what's going on Red Lion Picture as well.
Yeah, at the moment we're doing weekly lives, usually on a Wednesday. Sometimes we'll drop one on the weekend, depending if we've been able to watch what we're watching. At the moment, we're mainly covering the Last of Us series. It's been incredible. If you haven't started it yet, get on it. The last episode was the weakest one so far, but it was still one of the most entertaining things I've seen all week on television. It's been an eye opener because I've never played the game. Alan likes the game. Nick worships that game. That's his favorite game ever. So we all come from very different points of view. Nick's very hung up about stuff not being like the game. I'm like, I don't care. I just want it to look cool. And it has. And it's been like some parts of it are just heartbreaking. Some parts of it are just like, what is that? That is mad.
Mm-hmm.
Keep on doing that, and then it's just highly entertaining. Come on, go and follow the Red Line YouTube. You'll see us on there.
It's in the title, people. Links in the title. So, like Mike just mentioned there, Last of Us. I know there's a lot of Marvel fans in the chat. They're my go-to guys when it comes to Marvel. So, like I said, they're preview films, recap films, preview series, recap series, weekly lives. Go hit the subscribe button, red line picture, gang. The link is literally in the title of this video. So it's Mike, and then you got Nick, and you got Alan over there as well. You can see.
By the way, Flawless.
Yeah, go on.
Congrats on the 5K.
Oh, love,
I didn't say it to you. Like, yeah, congrats, man. It's good to see. You've been grinding for a long time, man.
I appreciate it, man. Love, man. I appreciate that a lot. You know what I'm saying? And big up to everyone who continues to support. Don't forget the ManDem United podcast and all the other shows on the YouTube channel, apart from watch-alongs, are available on audio-only platforms as well. Links for everything is underneath in the description. Don't forget, link for the membership is in the pinned comment as well. And we're back, here on the YouTube, like I said, for the Arsenal Manchester United show, Cam and myself, talking all things Arsenal and Manchester United. That'll be midnight or 12:30 a.m. Just keep a lookout, people. We'll love to everyone that's locked in. The ManDem United podcast is back tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. I'll be on time. Me and Eddie will be talking all things Manchester United. So probably talking bids from Saudi Arabia, bids from Qatar, previewing the Leeds game, obviously chat about the Barcelona game, Carabao Cup final, and whatever other questions you lot ask. But big up to everyone that's locked in. This has been the ManDem United podcast live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Big up for tuning in. And to Dennis, who says, Flawless, are you with Rance today? Yes, I'm going on Rance's Twitch in 10 minutes. So I'll be over there. Get over to Rance's Twitch. Get over there now because they'll start the live probably in 5 minutes. But love to everyone that's locked in.